Lunatics.
Okie dokie. Well, that is the case. Without further ado, our band of adventurers, the Talaria, have arrived at the island of Yanton. The purpose being that you are to meet with a ship called the Rising Star and attempt to negotiate a deal with the captain, Owain. His entire purpose for seeking you out appeared to have been a deal involving the smuggling of Celestine. Despite that, the bigger threat was the potential of him getting through the Coral Shield and finding the location of Mary Libere. So, quickly cobbling together a small armada, you had set off from the island nation, back through the Coral Shield, and ran into the Nymph's Needle. With the added negotiation abilities of Camille, the captain of the Needle, you had hatched a plan to get a more agreeable deal, while also preparing contingencies in the event that things go south. Separating the Needle away so that it is not under any risk, the Algos and the Sabrat continued onwards, eventually running into the Rabbit Hounds and the Rising Star. A quick discussion was made. You had met Owain himself and convinced him to do the deal on the shore of Yanton. You had set yourselves up as best as you could and prepared yourselves for what may be coming, be it either a war of words or a war with weapons. And so that is where we left off. So, Owain walks forward to the table and stands awaiting for the rest of you that are there to approach. Camilla just sort of pulls her hair back a little bit and approaches the table. Von Ren just sort of like looks up, just right, walks forward as well.
I will take a step forward, but I'm still like in the back. I'm letting them talk for the most part right now.
Okay. Owain just observes you all for a few seconds before saying, right, I'm not sure how exactly you do your negotiations. Typically for us, we introduce ourselves if it's for a new potential deal that might not have heard of us. We give a small history of ourselves. Is that sufficient for yourselves? I mean, I ain't got any problem about talking about my shit. You'll excuse me if I leave out particular confidential details. Of course, of course. I would also suggest you start. There's two of us and one of you. Right. Well, as I had said before, you actually see like one of the Warforged actually rummages in his bag and pulls out what looks to be like a ledger and begins writing it down as it's going on. My name is Owain. I'm a generalist trader, meaning that I trade in all sorts of goods. I began as a humble merchant in my home of Gallaro. I gained enough money to be involved in trade along the Soul River, chartering ships, and as time went on, had my own river ships. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you're aware, Johan has only recently been less isolationist, which means that when I came into the market, it was already oversaturated, so I stagnated till the end of the war. Then the rebuilding of Yalmord. I couldn't compete with larger merchants, but I could get in, carve a bit off of the initial profits, and then leave before the larger merchants' supply lines took over. I was very successful to the point where I'm one of the few that have the honor of being able to trade with Celestine, having gotten the permissions about 2 years ago. And yet, while Johan wants me to trade with Celestine, they always want to restrict me. Say I can only sell with Celestine within our borders. I just simply think that they don't see the potential business opportunities that would come for making use of their monopoly. And so, that is why I'm here. Now, which of the two would be willing to give your brief story as... I suppose you're not traders, per se, but how you got here, I guess. Well, not much to really say. Born in the Republic, poor honor. Got up to a bunch of illegal shit. Kept finding my next adrenaline rush. Joined a crew. Made way up my ranks. Here I am. I too was born in the Republic. I was more in line with, at the time, we were called rebels. I joined them, saw that they didn't think much of women, and set out to prove them wrong. I don't want to act like I have an ego, but I like to believe that the increased addition of women in various ship crews is partially my doing. Of course, I don't suppose that's reached over there, has it? Well, we certainly do for the trade through the Soul River, but beyond that, no. It is always all men that sail across the sea. Right. Well, I suppose we should get down to brass tacks then, yes? Yeah, so we have a bit of an idea of your deal. Celestine. I mean, your backstory suggests as much. Yes, of course. I mean, you don't need to know much about Johan to know just how valuable Celestine is. The power that it has. With no offense, for example, your 3 ships could bring that to bear on mine and it would still lose simply because we have superior cannons. There is a fortune to be made with selling Celestine outside their borders, and I want that fortune. And if they're not willing to let me trade, well, I suppose I will need to find a way around that.
I want to insight that. Also, I'm still connected to him.
Yeah.
I want to insight that if that applies to us too.
Go ahead and make an insight check, and because you're connected to him, with advantage.
Nat 20.
You can tell that he is very serious about the fortune, but you also sort of sense something that sort of almost rises to the surface before dipping down. That there is something else beyond just the fortune that he wants.
Can I try to emulate that feeling in his head again? See if I can, like, pull the emotion out?
Sure, let's make it a deception check.
Okay.
Trying to trick his brain.
14.
14. Ooh, how best let me roll to see. Okay. It's a mixture of emotions, of anger, of constraints, of frustration. But you notice, just with the inside check and everything, that the frustration doesn't connect to the desire for the fortune that he feels he deserves.
Can I... Can I maybe try and find the line to, like, what it's directed at? Or would I have to go deeper?
You would probably have to go deeper.
Okay, I will hold that off, but while we're in this conversation, I'll, like, basically keep a mind's eye out for that feeling again.
Okay. So what I'm getting at here is that, hazard a guess, because let's face it, if you wanted to trade, you would actually go to the Republic. Their stuff is legal, ours to them is not. You want us to trade in Celestine, yes? Well, if you want the long and short of it, yes. My intention is a bit of a mixture, though. I'm not expecting you to trade in Celestine and only Celestine. Part of it is to essentially have you attack my ships and steal some of the gold and the goods. Oftentimes, for some of us, we have insurances, essentially. The intention...
You want to commit fraud?
Fraud is such a dirty word.
No smirks.
I more like to call it payment for contribution to lessening demand.
She lets them continue.
The other thing, though, which is more related to Celestine, is actually having your ships dock in Yelmord. We have Celestine loaded on, and then you run it past the inspection ships. You sell the Celestine in the black market, and you simply pay me a cut. So, yep. Hold on here. You're asking us to dock in a Johanian city, where there's going to be harbor masters and all that. Then you put in Celestine, which I betcha they'll be looking at very carefully. And then run past ships that I'm gonna assume have Celestine cannons on them. Is that about right?
Well, not to mention, we'd have a huge target on, you know, stealing from your ships. We'd gain notoriety even if you lied about it.
Well, for the first part about running past things with Celestine cannons, the western side of Johan has a weaker navy than the eastern side. After all, we have no hostilities with Karmora whatsoever, the addition of the distance and such, so you wouldn't be going through an armada.
He wants us to dock in Yulmord, right?
Yeah, that was one of the things that he's. Yeah, that's what he
Isn't
suggested.
Yulmord literally the naval capital of Jurahan?
Technically Groffield, but yes. It's Yulmord is the is it for the Western Fleet?
Yeah, that's still crazy, and Yulmord is like where the fucking navy is. I'm assuming that Mev would know that if there's anything she knows about Jurahan.
Even if you didn't, you know the simple logic of Port City. Where's the military gonna dock in?
Yeah.
Like, the Republic has Port Mar and Port Embar.
Yeah, Mev thinks about this. So, this is like one of your main ports.
Yes, though it's still during the war, Yulmord basically was completely destroyed. It's only recently been rebuilt. It's not back to its full strength as a port city yet.
Why this place, though? There's got to be smaller ports that you can smuggle things through.
Not on the southern side of Ansor, unfortunately.
Mev's really wishing Arjun was here right now. Technically, he's connected to her, but she can't get information from him right now. It would raise suspicion. Fucking yeah, she will let them continue. This sounds like a fucking terrible idea.
Mm-hmm. Von Ren sort of like just sort of leans back on one foot. It's like, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, buddy. I have a reputation among the Moans as one of the most reckless. And I've got the fastest ship because I like being reckless. I don't think I'd even take this shit on. Not to mention, there's another problem. And here is the major issue with your plan. Celestine doesn't just appear out of nowhere. And everyone in the entire world, I would say, outside of maybe continents on the clear side of the world, knows who has the lion's share. If Celestine starts to become more common in the black market around here, then we risk ourselves being targeted. Either by the Republic under Johanian pressure, or hells, by Johan themselves. Not to mention, Celestine's a hard sell anyway. You need engineers and all that stuff to get them to work.
Really? Why aren't you going to a place like NASA with this?
He sort of squints, like he's deep in thought.
Can I catch it?
Make another insight check again with advantage.
$17.
There's a feeling of disgust at the idea of Naza.
Okay, he doesn't like them.
But
Gross.
you also catch slightly that feeling of anger again that you had felt before.
What race did you say this guy was?
Human.
Human. All right. Yeah, I think Mev is going to continue. NASA is probably like the only other place that has the technology and engineering capable to deal with Celestine. If you bring it to us, I mean, we might be good at smuggling, but the material's kind of wasted on us. You'd need to spend even more money to even make it profitable.
In a way, yes, though. So, like, indicates the Warforged behind him. Many of these Warforged can be given the information to show people how they work. That in itself could be another thing that you can work. Camilla just raised her hand. We don't smuggle people. That's not what we do. Right. I mean, they could be. They could become so. At that point, we break our code. Look, I'm aware of the risk, both with your code and all the threats, but if we're able to get this to work, think of all the money and even the power that you might get. Could you imagine the Third Fleet facing off against you like they did in the Day of Sea, except now you have Celestine on your side?
What you're proposing does sound amazing, but it's extraordinarily high risk. And to be frank, even with your little introduction, we don't know you that well. We don't have any stake in this, really. Not yet. This is a little too big a cost for someone we just met. No matter how big the payout would be.
That said, the first half of the plan I am more willing to agree with. I assume those ships that we steal the goods from would be in Republic waters, yes? Yes, of course. So essentially we'd be doing the same thing except a bit more targeted. I suppose, yes. Right, well. At the very least, for that first half, consider us interested. Your second part, and what I can tell is your most important part, we have some real big snags. Owen just sort of like, looks over at the Warforged that's writing, just sort of like nods and just scribbles out. As he does, so Quilly's using brakes.
Oh?
Make a perception check. That would... Oh yeah, both Mev and Havelock.
Okay. 16.
I'm
Havelock?
sorry, it's running slow.
Ah.
I'm trying to get the perception out there.
There we go.
Nat
Nice.
23.
Nice. You sort of watch as the quill breaks. You both sort of notice sort of like a few bluish sparks emit for it. Very slight.
From the Warforged?
From the from like the quill itself.
Okay.
And in fact you sort of see like what looks to be like almost like glass shards.
Can I check Owain to see if he's surprised by this or if he expected that?
Make another insight check.
$21.
You sort of feel almost like imagine getting your mind's eye like a smile appearing mentally.
Is it sinister?
Yeah, above the 21, yeah.
All right. Arjun, you feel a little ping go off in your head. Mev is cueing you to get on that fucking ship.
Off we go.
Something fucking weird is going on. Mev will also tell Camilla and Iridan what she just saw and that she's alerted Arjun.
Quill tournament sparks. That was magic. Yes, but let's not give it away. We have our plan. We play along. Hope whatever he has isn't outdone by ours.
I'm thinking if there's anything else I could do. Maybe just a quick Arcana check.
Sure.
Okay.
3.
Oh, 3. Fuck.
Yes.
Wish I was linked to Hatblock.
You're still learning magic. It's a bit difficult.
Yep.
You see, so like Von Ren frowned for a sec. He's like, so it looks back over at a relatively tall rock. I don't know how you guys do this, but I just need to. Nature's calling. So like,
really? Like Mev's Mev's playing along. She's judging.
Sorry. I not used to this. Get me nervous.
Whatever. Hurry up. Come on. This is important.
Sure. By all means, continue without me. So like quickly goes to the side. You sort of see him rummage around in his pockets out of sight of the others. You see him pull out a coin. You see him sort of like flick it up slightly and then just press his palm so it hits against the wall. You sort of see him like sort of lean down, but you can't see exactly what.
All right.
Arjun, make a stealth check with advantage for me because you're still invisible.
Visible.
This should go well.
God, I hope it does.
And
And Malbrin.
nice.
All right. So you sort of like begin to move. Malbrin sort of like you sort of feel the spy, like two of the spy legs, like latch onto you for a second through the gun pod. Much quieter. Let us avoid anything above.
He
So-
doesn't say anything, but he starts moving towards that.
Yeah. So the gun port is lifted up, seemingly by itself. And you saw like it just perched there. You hear Malbrin say behind you, "Are you good at climbing?"
Yes.
Good. Let me know. Can I hold your weight? Gives you a very light shove to sort of get you to move.
He's on the move.
Yeah. So you sort of like, thankfully, even though Galleon is bigger than the Algos, their gun ports are still like low down enough for you to just sort of like reach up towards them. As you do, you sort of look to the right, and you can see the what looks to be the first mate walking down the gangplank onto the Algos. You see another Warforge and another one. Do you stay to listen, or Arjun?
What was my buddy's name again?
Which buddy? You've got several.
Not
Malbrin
Nimbus.
or Nimbus.
Malbrand. Thank you. I was gonna call her Malbrand. Malbrand. Stay by the gun port. Listen to what they're saying. Let Nimbus and I take care of this for a moment. I still need to rig the cannon to explode. I won't need you to push it yet.
Which cannon specifically? Whereabouts? Invisible, so can't quite see you very well.
Back left.
Back left. Of course. As you sort of like stretch over so you hang out the gun ports, you hear sort of like the little like just little tipper taps sort of heading towards the gangplank a little bit before they just stop. Just pull up the hatch for the gun port and just sort of climb in. Thankfully the guns aren't in a firing position, so you're able to squeeze through. And you are in the Rising Star, so what I'll do, just for visualization's sake for now, is we'll just go to the Rising Star.
I'm in the cannon level.
Yeah, so currently, you, Arjun, are around. Where's your token?
I don't know where my token is.
There it
Go
is.
Down here.
No, I got it. You are around.
There's two of me. All right.
So you are around this bit here.
Okay. Back left. When I say back left, I meant like from our perspective.
Yeah. So like
Or-
basically
yeah,
this one.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. So there are crews. There are crewmates that are walking around, though you can see several of them are heading upstairs.
How many are down here?
It's hard to tell based on your angle, but you yourself see at least 13 or 14. Just like from your limited field of view. You're sort of like you're sort of like up against the cannon still, so that you're not in the way.
All right. I am going to move this way.
They're mostly human.
They're mostly human.
They're very tough for races, but in terms of like Warforged, you only see maybe 3 or 4, and they all walking with that sort of stilted, clearly not like sentient look.
All right.
So as you approach this
I
bit,
want to do is
there
rig
is.
this cannon to explode.
So just so you're aware, there are around this bit here. There's a group of about
Oh, they're all
6 individuals sitting around those tables.
Okay.
Sort of few minutes pass. They're still conversing, and you sort of notice a glint on the side near the cannon. You sort of like look over, and the gun port is opened and then quickly closed.
Okay. I am going to turn. Nimbus is still near me.
He's in your
I'm
back.
going to. Yeah, he's in my bag. I'm going to whisper to him, in like the smallest voice I can make. Because I know that they're right fucking there. And say, um, I need a distraction. I think if you were to the he's been on a ship before. He knows what it is like. You know the knocking that you do on the struts of the ship to like signal people down decks?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna basically ask Nimbus to try and since he's still he's invisible with me, right? Or did he just turn small?
He's small, but so long as he's in your bag, he's invisible.
Yeah. Hmm. Shit. Let me think. Time is of the essence. He's going to give he's going to tell Nimbus, take my coin pouch. Fly with it to the other end of the area. If you can, keep it near the ceiling so that they don't see you. Flip it and scatter it at the other end of the ship's area. Like, basically, he wants him to do it over here. And make it just seem like someone dropped their coin purse and it must have scattered and like people can like possibly like go investigate. And when they investigate, they'll obviously find the money and they'll be like, "Oh hell yeah!" So that's his plan. He wants Nimbus to do that for him and stay up near the ceiling so that they don't catch wind of him.
Oh, I'll certainly try. So like, feel the your bag shift a little bit.
I don't have a shit ton of money, but I do have like, let's see here. I have like 43 gold.
It's a good
A bunch
amount.
of silver and copper. My platinum pieces aren't with me, so that's good. I think I gave them to Havelock. No, wait, I didn't do that. I have 9 platinum pieces in there too. That's gonna be great. Oh man, I'm gonna lose all my money to this fucking boat. Yeah, so I'm gonna give. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, honestly, it's definitely worth the distraction. So, yeah,
Uh,
that's what I'm gonna have Nimbus do.
so you sort of like feel like the sack move chance. You're like, can't bloody lift all this. There's too much of it.
Well, to avoid jingling, I am going to I think I would I have another like small pouch amongst my belongings?
Probably not.
If you just have like a random handkerchief, you could tie some coins in it.
You know that works. Um, the opal necklace that I got from the shipwreck, I'll have him take that and basically throw it over there and have them, like, notice it. Hopefully.
Okay.
Have them start talking about it.
So, you let Nimbus out the bag. Self check for him. Alrighty. And you sort of watch as he flies up, clutching the necklace. And sort of is skirting around the edges. Sort of heads to the far side. He doesn't quite get there. He gets around here when some more people come down the stairs.
Is he under the stairs, or is he next to the stairs and they're, like, at eye level with him?
They're not at eye level, because they're around this point they'd be eye level. Here you can just see like their ankles when they're walking down.
I can't really command Nimbus from here. I literally can't, like, I can't stage whisper, like, fucking some bullshit towards him or anything like that. So I have to
You
wait
sort of
for him
see
to do
Nimbus
what he
look
needs to do.
around. You sort of see Nimbus look around and just looks towards the cannons, looks back at the group that is in there, and just throws it. Ding, ding, ding. Just bounces around the cannon for falling. You see several of the individuals sitting just sort of like look over. And you see sort of like two of them walk over and see them go, "Oh, who the fuck's got the girly necklace? Who cares who's got it? Look at it. Could probably get a good chunk of change for that." "Oh yeah, I suppose. I mean, what do you think? You think they'll buy it over in Jurhon?" You see like a few more of the individuals show. So like walk over.
All right.
There's now only 2 individuals left that are sitting still.
I think I can do this relatively silently. I think this is the best opportunity I'm going to get to rig in.
You sort of get to the side and sort of like bump into something. You feel like something sharp, like poke against your neck before you just feel it relax. Should have picked a spot for where we're going to wait. So
We're
like,
going to wait in the cargo hold.
Overheard what was going on above deck. Not good news.
What did they say?
They're attempting to seize the ships.
Okay. Can I convey that to Mev?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right.
What do you say?
Mevalair, the Warforged are planning to take the ship, the Algos.
Right. Do you know when? They haven't
be
boarded
soon.
yet, right?
Some of them have. They walked the gangplank, right?
Yeah.
They actually boarded?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only 3 of them from what you saw, but...
I mean, they are Warforged. They can just kind of get in there and be a fucking flurry of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
All
right.
3 of them crossed.
I'm not connected to anyone there. Continue with the plan. All right.
Do I sacrifice caution for speed, or should I continue with caution?
Be cautious. If you get caught, this will be worth nothing. You won't be able to complete the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mev will tell, Camilla and Iridan. 3 Warforged have boarded the Algos. They're trying to seize the ship.
So that's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of movement on the Algos.
Fighting?
Not fighting. Lots of people coming above deck, though.
How do you think they're going to seize it? Do you think this guy would kill?
I don't know. I think this is trying to be leverage. He seems confident that he could probably take us in a fight, ship-wise. He's right. But...
We need to stall this fucker while Argent blows that shit up.
yeah.
Play along, pretend we're giving in. I think that's the best course of action when he tries to pull this trump card.
Yeah. But with your telekinesis, is it a case of like multiple people can hear, or is it just one side only?
It is whoever I choose.
Okay.
So, I have been blocking out Owain this whole time.
Yeah.
Arjun, Camilla, and Iridan can all talk to me.
But they can't hear what they're saying.
I can translate.
Okay, yeah. So at that point then, Roran's like, alright. Might as well add what I said to Kay there. Sure she's got a plan already.
Mother?
Yes?
She will fucking relay all this goddamn bullshit.
Right, well. If that's the case, under no circumstances can we kill him.
Not yet.
Not at all. They take orders from him. And I feel we have the advantage in direct combat with him. But if he's dead, then we lose negotiation with his first mate and his crew. I'm not saying we do that, but if it comes down to that...
Well, what happens when Arjun blows up the fucking ship? We lose our chips anyways.
Tell him not to blow up the ship, just rig it.
Camilla can feel Mev's dissatisfaction. But she will tell Arjun to not blow up the ship until she gives her say-so.
Okay.
If we blow up the ship, then they lose their reason to... They lose their self-preservation. Or maybe the desire increases and they attempt to take over the ship for their own survival. But threatening... People are always more willing to talk when there's a threat.
Are you thinking of showing them our hand?
No. He shows his. We retaliate. If he has another hand, we go straight to capturing him.
Right.
That said, if we can leave this without bloodshed, that'd be ideal. Because, as much as I hate this person, gods, I'm turning into Von Ren. There is money to be had with at least the first part.
Mother.
I'm not going to put the risk of the crew above a desire for a bit more profit. I'm just saying. If we can get a deal still, good. We keep him as far away from us as possible while still reaping some rewards. If that isn't the case, I'm not willing to let him latch onto us like a leech.
How is Wayne looking?
It looks like he's been patiently waiting for Von Ren to supposedly finish his business.
Yeah.
He seems relatively calm. He does have a slight smile now.
I can't believe this captain is pissing.
Fucking hell. Mav is going to I think while Iridan is gone, she's just gonna play the fool again. She's gonna try and engage in just with him. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. My head hurts. Havelock isn't visible, is he?
He's been hiding in a rock pool.
Yeah, he's
the
been
entire time.
hiding. I can't connect with him.
I am in the rocks. Nobody knows where I am.
Yep. Alright. Hurry up, Iridan.
Alright, so I guess we're sticking with Iridan then?
I think we're sticking with Arjun. Arjun's gotta fucking set up this stuff.
Arjun even. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. The four that went over to where the necklace are still there arguing.
Alright. I'm gonna work on this machine.
Alrighty. So, are you proficient with Tinker's tools? Do you have Tinker's tools?
I have proficiency with Thieves' tools, but I don't think that counts here.
Nah, because Thieves' tools are like lockpicks and such.
Yeah. I had the intention of working with this not necessarily in a basically like the way that a cannon functions. You explained that this one is basically just a rotary cannon with a clip, basically. I just want to make it so that like it's loaded improperly. And then there's going to be gunpowder between the two cannonballs that are loaded improperly.
Ah, right, okay. So you're not like trying to disassemble it per se?
No, not at all.
Alright.
Basically the fact that because of the fact that the chambers rotate, if two of the cannonballs are like kind of like halfway in, when it tries to rotate, it'll strike them together and it will fuck up the mechanism, and if there's gunpowder in between them, it'll create a spark and it'll make an explosion.
All right.
But like if that doesn't work, like if that's not the way that you envision like the cannon functioning, feel free to tell me that I'm just like pulling shit out of my ass right now.
You
Like that's just the way that I thought they function.
you partially
explained the way
are,
that they work.
but not entirely. Really, the only difference is just that stuffing a cannonball through the, through the front of the barrel and have it roll down to another one, would cause problems.
Well, at the moment, I am, trying to do that if I'm able to do that.
Sure.
That was the way that I always thought it could function. But
if you're trying to do it stealthily, make a sleight of hand check.
all right.
18. It would be 18 because like
It would be 18.
Yeah, which is still good. You sort of begin to fiddle about with part of the mechanism. It's a bit difficult without the right tools, but thankfully you have a dagger to sort of fiddle about with the latch. There is a audible like ding as you are able to pull out the latch. You sort of like look over at the two that are still there. They're just watching the argument still. You sort of like direct Malbrin to sort of like stuff the front end with a satchel of gunpowder, which Nimbus thankfully brought. And you have both rigged and also technically broke the cannon. Technically.
Good.
When it goes off, it really will be broken, but you know.
Yep. That's what I plan to do. And then we just have to worry about moving it. But we're not going to move it right away. I know that we have time for that. So I am going to try and get Nimbus back.
Oh, he already flew back.
Oh, he's already back? Okay, good.
Yeah, he's you can sort of see him like hiding, essentially behind these barrels here. He can't see either of you, so.
Malbrin, if push comes to shove, how quickly do you think you could move this cannon?
Depends. Could cast spells to cause devastation around us. Delays them, but also slows me down. Could carry it relatively quickly, but obviously would then be vulnerable. Many people here. Already looking at this, we're outnumbered 3-1.
Okay. Nimbus, I have it rigged to explode. I want you to stay with Malbrin. You and Malbrin will stay here with the cannon, and if something happens, I will make a distraction. I will lead the rest of the crew to the other end of this ship, while you and Malbrin rig and detonate the cannon. Understood?
Sure, right. You might want to give her the fuse then. I'll put it in your pack.
Yeah. I'll give her the fuse. I'll give her Nimbus, and then I'll make sure that everything else is ready to go.
Okay. So, I suppose then that means back on the beach.
Back on the beach.
On the beach. This is not the beach episode we'd like, but it's the one we're getting. Von Ren eventually returns. I sort of like took an insurance, like, whew, sorry. It's all right. I suppose I gave you time to think about this, I suppose. There isn't a whole lot to think about. I'm more than agreeable with your little insurance fraud issue. The Celestine, however, you've thrown so many things at us that, quite frankly, is ridiculous. You want us to dock at a Johanian city. You want us to sail through a bunch of inspection ships that have Celestine cannons. You then want us to sell it in Karmora. To be honest with you, Owen, I've dealt with the black market. I've never seen nor traded in Celestine in my entire life there. And of course, there's the issue of, what if Johan finds out? I understand that this is a less than ideal, but again, I need to point out, imagine having these cannons. It would make your job so much easier. And if Johan finds out, well, nobody knows where you are. I don't know. The Republic doesn't know. Johan wouldn't know. We'd be confined to our home at that point. Johan does not have much patience, I'm sure you know. Usually, it used to be that if you pissed them off, they would threaten you militarily. If they can't find you, then they'd blame it on Karmora. They're not taking the action, so Johan would step in. Johan ships, they're not very quick. So I feel you would be fine. It could also result in a war between Johan and the Republic. Well, isn't that what you would want? No. If I'm honest with you, no. We teeter on a knife edge, Owain. We go too far one side, then we lose our way as Moens. Go to the other side, and the Republic gets us. It's a very fine balance. War would change that. There'd be more ships, more people on edge. Our job would become so much more difficult. Mev, you feel again that frustration and anger coming from Owain. Yeah, that Peach?
Yeah. Mev says, "You're asking a lot from us. Our delicate way of life could completely change from this amount of risk. I don't exactly think we're saying no, though. More so, well, you're asking a lot for a first negotiation. I'm not sure I understand your rush. Why not build business with us first?"
The reason that I rush is Mev, you feel sort of like conflict surfacing in his brain a lot. Make a... You know what, let's make it a wisdom check with advantage.
Woo!
Whiz.
I rarely get those with advantage, even though I'm supposed to because I'm a Calistar. Just to check.
Yes. Nothing bad-wise in terms of it, so... Hey!
Nat 20!
That's a lot of nat 20s.
Let me roll to see how well he keeps his emotions in check. Ooh. You begin to hear voices sort of like surface from his mind. And you sort of see like his face itself like furrow, partially in conflict, but you sort of realizing now it's frustration. So I hear little snippets. It's like, don't have time, going soft. The power, that could be more trade. The land could be theirs. Recognition. Could use contingency too.
Is there anything else before I speak up?
I would say because of the 20 and because of how low he rolls, you get a bigger inkling on the frustration.
Mm-hmm.
The frustration and anger seems to be directed towards Churhan.
Okay. Mev is going to take a step and put her hand on his arm. She smiles. I get the feeling that there's something else at play. Perhaps if we understood better where you're coming from, we could work something out.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Please, 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 please. 19!
So, like, gently pulls your hand away from his arm and just sort of, like, beckons you back to your side of the table.
Yeah, she'll move.
I'll admit that there is more than just money in this for me. It's a primary thing, but there's more to it. Jahan is problematic. They've made themselves more open, but they are becoming soft. And with them becoming soft, it raises the question on what happens to Gallaro. But it also raises the concern of, if they're soft, they'll make consensus to other nations. That makes my job as a merchant tougher. I lose against my competitors at that point. But also, as well, as I say, part of it involves Gallaro. Jurhan got to where it was because of us. And I often wonders if we're worth staying with Johan. And that's partially the reason for this trade. See, if Johan does nothing, as you flood the market with what little Celestine exists, then we'll know that we can be free from Johan. And if they step in instead, attempt to crush ideally Karmora, then we know that we're still strong with Johan. And the extra land means more trade, more money. The main reason is simply for money. But the other part is because I'm not too sure where Gallaro's place would be in this new Johan.
Camilla and Iriden just hear this fucker wants rebellion for profit.
Honestly, I can see it. I'm not entirely convinced. I feel that he's using our history to be not the same as you and I.
If he's trying to do that, he's woefully unread.
As are many. Camilla speaks up to him. So realistically, you want to, the reason why you're doing it so quickly is because you're worried Johan's going to find a way to make it so you can't make as much money. Is that really your best reason? I am willing to wait a little bit, but I get the sense from your body language that we're talking years. I'm talking at most a year. Look, to be honest with you, buddy, you're risking a war between two relatively big continents for profit.
Just to test the waters. That's to Camilla and Iriden, just in their heads. Mev's not fucking happy.
I know it's to test the waters, but the way I see it, this is something where I feel you would win either way. If Johan does nothing, you continue to make profit. If Johan steps in and puts their wrath on Karmora, you then have a weakened republic.
If they put their wrath on Karmora.
There's also another problem with this. Let's say by your scenario, Johan does wage war on the Republic. Let's say they take a bit of land off Karmora. We'd be finished. I'm sorry, you need to elaborate. Vernon speaks up. Our survival here kind of is based on poor honor being as weak as it is. And with it being that weak, that's the thing Johan will go to. That leaves us with Port Embar or Port Mar. Death sentences, basically. And before you say, if Johan goes for any of those, then that particular fleet will head to Port Honor. We won't be able to do anything. Owain sort of looking down at the table. like his head up, or he's like almost like he's looking down his nose at the table. He's just thinking. At this point, Wayne's size, it's like, I really do want to try and make this happen. I feel that the results would benefit you. I'd even be willing to petition to either Gallaro or to Jurhan to recognize your nation. Especially if you side with us in the war. If a war happens. Isn't that what you truly want? To be recognized? Silence between the two of them. I mean, yeah. Love to be recognized. To not have to hide in fear. Not be hunted down mercilessly. But buddy, you're asking us to piss off Jurhan. So I looks over at one of the other Warforged. She just nods.
I will fucking insight that, but Mev will say, for one, what is it worth being recognized if our nation might be crushed into the dirt because of this? By the time that this is all over, there's a chance that because of us sticking our necks out for you, we wouldn't even exist anymore. And if you really wanted to make this work, honestly, I feel like you would have surveyed the political landscape a little more, taken the proper time and not rushed it. Instead, we've been sitting here poking holes in your argument this entire time. All you've done is tell us about it's worth the risk, it's worth the risk. But you've not actually done any proper assessment. I think we're being very generous here, offering to work with you in some small capacity and build up to this Celestine trade. Really, the only one being inflexible here is you.
Alrighty, and go ahead and make your insight check as well.
Mev is getting pissed. Has the cannon been fucking moved yet?
I'm only gonna move it once I can be sure that
Alright, not good.
Madeline can do it safely. So no, the cannon hasn't been moved.
Alright.
But it can be moved rather quickly. I think it would take her like a couple rounds at best.
Okay. I guess, can I try and count that as a persuasion check, or is he completely unwilling to them?
You could make
for that reasoning.
Make a straight perception check. Not perception, persuasion. Persuasion.
Okay. 16.
So like stops, just breathes in. It's like moving up to from where we've found common ground on to Celestine. How long are you looking at for that? A rough estimation. I'm aware a building of trust takes time.
she looks to you, Iridan and Camilla.
I mean, look, personally, you had me at the first part, but even I'm not crazy enough for that second part. Unless you can find a different way of getting that cell scene to us, ain't no way. I'm not going to rule out Celestine, but I agree. The idea that you have suggested is a suicide mission for us. I'm aware there's risk. God knows we've been in this business long enough to know there's risk. But sometimes there's too much risk. I wouldn't even go for immortality if there was a 0.1% chance of success. The risk is too great for the reward.
You said a year is your limit, correct?
Yes.
Well, then how about this compromise? We start the first half of your plan, build a relationship with you. We come back here in a year to do these negotiations again, and you bring a better route.
And what guarantee do I have for this? I don't know where your home is. You refuse to tell me. So how are we meant to meet up? How are we meant to arrange this? What's my guarantee? If you don't have one, I can make one.
What do you propose?
Before I propose, I would like you to answer my questions, because that is going to dictate exactly what I say next.
Talk about what he just asked, like what we could have as proof.
Basically, he's asking, like, given that he doesn't know where Mary the Berry is, how the Moans meant to ensure that there would be a deal and how there would even be any form of communication.
Okay. That sounds like something that the Crow's Nest captains have to decide.
I'm gonna assume that our word isn't gonna be enough. No. No, it will not. Alright. Just wanted to check. So, Lauren looks over at Camilla. Port Honor is our best bet, but you wouldn't... So, like, looks over at the Rising Star. I would highly recommend you invest in a more Dacian ship, as opposed to your Johani. Our meeting point, sure. Is there a person I could speak to in regards to this? You sort of hear Camilla speak directly to you. I don't know if it's wise for us to involve Boris in this.
It's what we have, though. It's...
The problem is, he'll have some knowledge of our comings and goings. He could find more people and convince them to take him through the shield. That's my concern.
Right. She thinks I suppose the contract would not be enough. You used it on the rabbit hounds. Oh, that's accentless. I fucking forgot I was speaking aloud.
That's fine.
Fucking.
There was a difference between the rabbit hounds and yourselves. I knew that they were in no state to flee and elude. So it looks over at the free ships. The rest of you, however, it's your business to elude people.
Camilla and Iriden here. I'm going back to the mainland. I could volunteer the Talaria.
We'll put that in our pocket for now. We've given him a potential option of port honor. We'll see what his contingency is. And if it gets worse, we'll avoid violence until there's absolutely no other option. You'll be the second to last resort.
Am I getting a sense that my mom is saying that out of protectiveness rather than practicality?
Make an insight check.
Insight.
Natural 20.
Holy shit!
There is a degree of protectiveness in there, but it is also definitely a practicality as part of it.
Okay.
Like, you notice that she's not really blinked a whole lot and has just been staring directly into Owain's eyes during this. But you did notice as well, though, she, seemingly looking to, like, scratch her arm, has adjusted her cuff.
All right.
So your only offer is, I come back in a year to Port Honor and you find me.
That is usually how it works.
I have my own way of ensuring then. One of your ships and their crew work for me. And when the time comes, I give them back their ship, and we return here. So you're saying that you'll kidnap one of our own? Several, in fact. The way I see it, that's a way to ensure that I know you'll come back. Just like how you can't trust me, I can't trust you. So I see through the corner of your eyes, Von Ren sort of lean back a bit, just sort of rests his hand over his weapon. You think this is the thing he was doing?
Yeah. I... This guy is bullheaded. He's not going to accept anything else.
Is that like a Johanian thing, or what?
I mean, from what we've heard about them, yes. The Algos is a merchant ship. It isn't Moen. This
But-
isn't what was agreed.
What does he know that the Algos isn't Moen?
He doesn't. How much are we willing to, well, screw that ship over, though? Don't like it.
We've been nothing but nice to him. The last thing I'm gonna do is stab him in the back.
Has Arjun heard any of this?
Mev has been relaying things to you, like in real time.
Okay. Arjun's been silent for a while. He chips in now, though. Celestine is the key to this situation. If he has Celestine with him now, including what he could even use his own cannons, we leave it here. Bury it. When we do, it's definitely the closest thing to being in Moen territory. If we don't come back to make the deal with him, he pulls the trigger on us. Tells Jurahan that we have Celestine, that we stole from him.
Incriminating evidence.
It puts you all in a position where he can pull the trigger on you, but it also creates a position where he's got a gun to your head, not ours. But it doesn't. It still stalls the actual trade of Celestine beforehand.
All right. I think how do Camilla and Irden feel about this plan?
The question there is going to be if he's willing to give up any of those cannons.
Even a cannon would be incriminating enough. It would give them some sort of idea that the Moens are interested in it. In fact, they could probably cut a deal with the Republic too.
Politically speaking, it puts us in the worst position possible. But at the same time, it also does, in fact, stall this man for as long as we want him to be stalled. It gives us time. I'm not saying it's the best result, and I think you're all well in your right to tell me to fuck off.
What if... Well... There's nothing saying that we can't come back here later and get rid of the evidence. We make this little deal with him, tell him to put it on an undisclosed location on the island, somewhere he thinks we won't find it, and then we come searching a little while later when the coast is clear.
Puts us in direct contention with him. He's likely to leave guards, but
We can handle guards.
oh,
Camilla sort of speaks up. If you want reassurance, then how is this for a deal? Like, points over at the rising star. You take a cannon. Any cannon so long as it's a Celestine one. Take 2 if you want to. You bring it over here. You bury it somewhere on the island. Then, a year from now, we come back. You get your cannons back. And we ensure that you don't go to Jurhan to say that we stole some of your cannons. Or, if you decide that you want to pin the blame on the Republic don't have your cannons. How's that for an assurance? Camilla's going to make a persuasion check here.
I would like to help her.
Okay, how do you help?
By adding in, it certainly would tie a leash around us. It would be extremely incriminating evidence. Came back, we didn't show up, and you went to Jurahan to tell them that we fucked with you. You don't get in trouble, we do. And it would benefit your little plan to test the waters, see if Jurahan's willing to fight for Gallaro.
Okay. So, like, leans back a bit, just thinking. Could I have a few minutes to think about this?
Of course.
So, like, steps away from the table. The,
I'm gonna be fucking listening to him.
Okay. Two of the Warforged still stay, just staring at you, as the other 2 follow along.
Hmm?
Sort of begin hearing, like, his thoughts as he begins debating. Sort of, the words are zipping by very quickly. You hear several bits of it, but, you know, make a perception check to see if you capture, like, all of it, or if some bits are a bit too sped up.
Okay.
16.
16.
Okay. The odd word here and there, but you basically get the gist of what he's saying. So you basically hear it's like, of course, what's stopping them from simply coming back? Can't exactly leave guards here. Though this could help me in a different way. It would ensure, though, as well, especially if I go to Jurhan. I suppose if I don't really need it, then I could just simply spill the beans early. that does put a lot of power to them in negotiation, whereas if I do what I'm doing right now, this could work. I suppose this could work, but I'll still ask regardless. Yes, I could make this work. I could, yes. Whew. Yes. Merchant gets whatever he wants. Merchant gets whatever he wants by doing whatever it takes.
Again.
Yes. Right. So it turns around, comes back to the table. So I suppose my request potentially of taking some of your crew and your ship and returning it back is not part of the negotiation. No. Not at all. Right. Well, considering we're putting very big assurances, I will come clean then that I wholly intended for my little idea to come what may. But I feel that this probably works better for all of us. You sort of like here mentally, should we reveal our hand on that one or no? Like, not the actual plan, but like, we had our own counter contingency kind of deal.
No.
Alright.
We want him to still think that he's got the chips. We don't want him to be insecure if he's agreed to this.
We can tell him to check the cannon right as we're leaving. I'm sure the stab rat can get away in time for that. Probably. Especially if we let him go to begin with. Hell, maybe as a joke, Mev could say it right in his head.
He chuckles a little bit.
I would rather not give away our little secret weapon.
I was also going to ask, am I okay? Because there's a lot of people in my head right now.
Make a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
This has been going on for a while.
17.
17. Holy shit.
It's uncomfortable, but you're managing.
Yeah, I think Camilla, like, as Mev's chuckling, she can just see Mev starting to degrade a little bit. Fucking, this is a lot.
Disconnect from me and Von Ren. We've done everything we need to.
All right, she will disconnect from those two. They are right next to each other, so she can reconnect if she needs to.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I'm not surprised that you wanted it your way. I've dealt with merchants, and Jahan has a reputation. It doesn't surprise me that Jahani merchants are probably in the same boat. But we have made an agreement. And I'd be willing to say this as goes will. I would say we'd be willing to sign it on the deck of your ship. And then we can make sure that we have made witness to the cannons heading here. We remain on the ship until your workers come back after burying them. We say our goodbyes. However, one part of this is you will be leaving first. And why exactly is that? Well, being honest with you, buddy, You wanted to find where we live? We ain't willing to show you. We don't want you potentially trying to tell us. All right. Fine. Sort of like indicates to another to the Warforged that's writing, who again, he's been writing. He just sort of scribbles out, which breaks the quill again. Just see Owain frown. I don't suppose Colton Mordak's got any stronger quills. No? Very well. All right. I accept your offer. We shall return here. So looks over to the Warforged. You, what's the current date? Pretty sure I've got it accurate on this one. So, you know, anyone who's been keeping track of the dates better than I have is going to yell at me now. The Warforged speaks up and says, "It is currently the 10th of Frost Creep." 10th of Frost Creep.
No, that's correct.
Very well. Then by the 10th of Frost Creep, give or take a day or two in case weather delays us, we shall... Actually, would it be better if we met at Port Honor? And we simply arrive here together? I mean, we don't have any particular contacts in Port Honor. Yes, but... Sort of indicates to his ship. I'm sure you'll know if I'm there.
I want to insight that.
Okay.
Why the correction?
22. Surprisingly, this one seems to feel more like convenience.
Okay.
Like like the previous times you've sort of been, it's clear that it's something that he's trying to get. This time it's like you sort of felt like when he was like saying it was going through his head. It's like, you know, maybe if the sea, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Wait a second. And that's why he made the Port Honor suggestion.
I see no reason not to meet there, though. If we do not find each other, just come to the island before you pull the trigger.
How about if we don't run into each other in Port Honor by the 10th of Frost Creep, we give it one more week, and that will allow us to get over to Yenton. You're probably going to want to put it as 2 weeks. Seas can get a bit rough around there. Fine, 2 weeks. Does this seem agreeable?
Mev nods.
Camilla nods and Von Ren nods. Very good, very good. Well, I will head back to our ships and get a contract signed out. If you could just wait a little bit, I'm aware that your ship is far faster than a rowboat. I'd rather not be rocked by its wake.
Weren't we going with him to sign it on his ship?
Yeah, but you guys moved the stab rat closer. He's basically implying he's going to row all the way to those other ships.
He's not just going to come with us on the stab rat. We could go.
It doesn't seem like he wants. It sounds like he doesn't want to.
Is that because he was fucking with the Algos?
You can make an insight check.
Oh my god. I feel like I shouldn't have to insight check that,
I mean,
but I will do it with confirmation.
Okay. Also, I just kind of want to see how. Jesus Christ,
18.
your rolls are still doing so good this entire session. You sort of hear in the back, you sort of hear so like one of the thoughts go through, just like, also gives me time to make sure that that everything that happened did, with the exception of the final part.
He's trying to clean up his mess. Would you say that's what that was? He's trying to clean up his mess.
With an 18, a little bit and more.
Fucking.
Like with that, you get an inkling that it wasn't just take over the ship.
Yeah. Mev will alert Arjun that like this guy's coming back. Obviously, he knows what's up, what's happening. And then Mev will look to Owain and say, "Meet you there."
We'll give you 20 minutes. That will be fine. And so one of the Warforged step forward and just picks up the table above his head. And they head back to the boat and start rowing away.
All right. So Arjun is going to sneak out then?
Yeah, make another stealth check with
With the crew?
advantage.
And yeah, let's go.
Melbourne needs to also do.
26.
Woo!
Yep, you are just eking out the very last few bits of the invisibility at this point. Okay, yeah. The two of you escape through the gun port. Do you fix the cannon or do you leave it be?
Can he fix it?
Yeah, I only really, like... It's not really like I can scoop out the gunpowder or anything, but I can definitely make it so the cannonballs aren't, like, fucked.
So do you, or do you just leave it as is?
I will take out the cannonball. I will make sure that it's not rigged to explode anymore.
Okay. You've still somewhat disabled it, but at least now if they fire it, it'll just fire once and that's it. As
I don't
opposed
know.
to
I feel like if they take the fucking opportunity to fire on us while they're going away.
Alright. So the two of you, Nimbus is in Malbrin's bag at this point. Two of you sort of climb out. Because of the distance further back, you're sort of just clinging on by the edge, so Malbrin sort of grabs hold of you somewhat until you get to the point where you can actually climb over.
Mm-hmm.
You both sort of climb back in the same gun port you came out of.
And that's on the Algos?
Yes.
Okay, so you can figure out what the fuck's happening.
We're back on the Algos, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Though, before that, I've had to pee for like an hour.
Sorry, we'll take a small break. So, you wait until the rowboat is decently out of sight before Lulu approaches. You can see that she's got her bow sort of, around her. Just sort of like walks up, just staring at the three of you. So, did we do okay? We got a deal. That's the important part. But he's not gonna, like, find out where we live. No. We prevented that, thankfully. So, like, looks over at Von Ren. So which of us is going to be partaking in the deal next year? Being honest with you, you do the negotiating. Horace is there in case shit goes south. Oh, you don't want to participate? Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm way out of my depth in this one. And I don't have the ship for intimidation. Hmm. That's a shame. I felt you did rather okay. I'll take the compliment, but still stand by what I said. Well, we have a whole year before then. Maybe you'll change your mind. Maybe I won't even be Crow's Nest captain by that year, who knows? Havelock, I assume you come out of the rock pool?
Yes, I rise. Like a sopping wet cat, I meander my way over to them.
Hey, Havelock, didn't see you show up.
I've been here the whole time.
I can tell.
It was less of a shit show than it could have been.
Well. So it looks like for Camilla. It was gonna be. Yes, but thankfully it didn't wind up like that. Right, let's head back to the others. So it begins walking towards the rowboat. Von Ren just sort of looks down at you, Mev. You did good.
Looks like Mev was concentrating on something. She's still trying to like listen into Owain. She looks at Iriden. Thank you.
We'll try to get these last bits sorted as quick as we can so you can actually have some peace and quiet to yourself.
Oh, I'm going to stay connected to him as long as I can.
Doesn't mean that we need to delay him leaving.
She nods. She's gonna head back to the fucking rowboats.
Alright. You all cram into the boat and take the short journey to the Stabbed Rats. Several of the crews sort of show up. It's like, hey, you're back. How'd it go? We'll talk about it later. Right now, we gotta make sure that he didn't fuck with one of our ships. They quickly begin to unfurl the sails and quickly sail it alongside the rabbit hounds. Quickly latch on.
Hey, Tom.
Yes?
I would like to talk with the boat.
Oh my god. Why?
I can just ask the boat if anything has happened to it.
The rowboat or the Stabbed Rats?
The Stabbed Rat.
The Separate wasn't even anywhere near the place. It's like we're going to the Algos, where they actually tried to board the ship.
Thank you for the correction. My brain. Never mind me.
Okay. So you pull alongside the rabbit hounds. Oron is sort of waiting as you pull aside. So it just beckons you to a bit to the side as well. They boarded the Algos.
We saw.
They roughed up some of the crew. None of them are dead, though, but a few of them are a bit wounded. They tried to fight back. Lower decks were barricaded by most of the specialists. We couldn't get over there because sort of like points over to the rising star, and you can see a few of the crew are sort of holding onto these much smaller cannons that seem to be able to like swivel on the railings.
Okay.
They ain't letting anyone on their ship now, but they've left the Algos.
Interesting.
Just thought I'd let you know.
Can I get onto the Algos from here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Is Arjun on the Algos? He's like...
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, the invisibility's worn off as well, so...
Yeah. I'm gonna go onto the Algos. I'm gonna... check on everyone. See what's up there. Just see, like who's wounded, how much damage there was. Are any of those fucking Warforged still on the ship?
No, but you can see the one that's the first mate is standing on his ship at the gangplank.
Mev looks at this thing. Can I try to connect with it?
Okay.
You tried to do this before with a different Warforged and it didn't work.
Pretty sure that was with a non-sentient Warforge.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
It was either a non-sentient Warforge or the Gear Forged, one of the two.
I will try anyways.
So, if I recall, you have connected to a sentient Warforged before? Marine?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So you find that you once again, like, you're not connecting with the head, you're connecting with the core.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, when you, like, connect to it, you almost hear, like, a very light white noise. With the occasional like senses like, why is she looking at me? They better not approach.
I'll keep connected to that and basically any able-bodied crew, I want them to scout the ship for any Warforged that might have been hiding, anyone else that snuck on, and any bugs.
Yeah, Arjun is investigating the ship Something Fierce because yeah, he doesn't like them fucking with the Algos.
Okay. Oh, I get to make use of the crew mechanics for this.
You know, Arjun, you hear in your head, what do you think would happen if that first mate of theirs suddenly went crazy?
I don't know.
Know that they have a failsafe, but maybe it would throw a bit of a wrench in their intentions. I'm just fucking pissed.
I think that it would be far too convenient of a complication. If it's something that you can do, it's something we want to do a year from now. Today is over.
You can feel it seems like this was just a theoretical question. Mev knows that she should not pull this trigger, but you can feel the anger in her that they fucked with the Algos.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense of her just accepting this fact.
I'm gonna check the boat.
Alright. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Do I still have advantage on? No, I don't.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and now Havelock can do the speak with inanimate objects.
I can't find shit.
May I kindly ask this ship if she is okay? If they are okay?
If they have bugs.
Yes.
We have felt our innards be broken and sharpness stabbed in, but we are still whole.
Are there any people aboard you that should not be here?
We do not know. Many feet leave and arrive on us.
Do you have any bugs?
The barnacles eat at my hull.
Oh my god.
I will take care of those. Thank you. We'll get you patched up and feeling better soon. Is there anything you want me to tell the crew or the captain?
I have nothing to say to them.
All right. They love you, and he just pats the ship, severing the little connection between them.
Okay.
And he's gonna relay this information to Mev.
You didn't ask it how many feet were on the ship. I mean, we have the number of crew here. And bugs, you didn't ask if something was recently put on it. I doubt the intelligence of, well, thousands of pieces of wood. Havelock. Hello?
I think.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
am I alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so in case it didn't come through, Havelock basically said, I apologize for not asking the correct questions. You also do not understand how unnerving it is to talk with a ship.
Look, this is extraordinarily important. Never mind. Never mind. Mev's going to go conduct a fucking search herself.
Okay, make an investigation check.
12, a little better.
Okay. You do notice that some of the doors have been broken open.
Has anything been taken?
No. Just like they've been broken open. And sort of asking around, it was a case of like some of the Warforged dragged some of the crew onto the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Arjun, unfortunately with a 6, you don't really find anything.
Yeah.
The crew, however, collectively rolled a dirty 20.
Nice.
So, unfortunately though, one of the things they find, it is a forge of sorts. They sort of like drag it up, and you sort of, you recognize it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a war forge, it's a gear forge. And you can tell just from like part of its torso, which is charred burnt black. You think you had found your saboteur for the Rising Star? As I sort of like pulling along, just like cheering, thinking they got someone, you can just hear him just like, unhand me, I am not with them, unhand me.
Yeah, she raises... Was this guy on the fucking ship before? I don't think he was. He was on the Rabbit Hounds, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, Mev waves a hand. Let them go.
Oh, just sort of like let him go, just with a slight push. He sort of like, you know, stumbles forward before standing up fully. Thank you.
Alright?
Yes, I am fine.
What are you doing?
I stuck aboard here just in case. Thought maybe I could pull the same trick twice.
Hmm. Yeah, she nods. Honestly, the Gearforge might have a better account of what happened. Yeah, Mev will ask, did you see what happened when, they boarded the ship? See anything, well, more suspicious than them dragging people out of their fucking cabins?
As a matter of fact, I did. They came aboard, stated that due to the technology involved in their ship, that they would like all able-bodied people on the deck so that they could keep an eye on them. When it was refused, they came aboard. I had came over initially to provide an extra body should things get violent. What had happened is they had broken into my room. It was one of the non-sentient Warforge, so thankfully they confused me for one of their own and advised me to place the symbol. I did not inquire to give away my position. However, I feel that there may be more then. During the period before they left, I was able to wander around here as the only sentient warforged remained above deck. So, like, turns around and begins to walk in a direction before, like, stopping, turning to look at you.
I'll follow.
You follow him. It's weird following a Gearforged. Given that, from what you know from your limited knowledge, that Gearforged are essentially like clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
They walk kind of like it. Kind of like, I guess the close alternative is the Nutcracker from Lethal Company.
Okay.
Though with a lot more movement on his legs. He actually has knees, unlike the Lethal Company one. He sort of like turns into a room. Is sort of looking up at the ceiling. He just sort of like points up at it. And you can sort of see a small symbol engraved into the wood.
Mm-hmm.
I counted 3 of them.
All right. What's the symbol?
Make an Arcana check.
12.
12. You're not 100% sure. However, at the very least, you can recognize it as a... 1 second. You do recognize it as an arcane symbol.
I'm going to take my needle and oh god, how tall is this fucking ceiling?
The Gearforge is taller than you, and he can only reach the ceiling when he like points upwards.
Okay. I'm gonna have this guy like just boost me up.
Okay.
And I'm going to, it's like carved into the wood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stab into the symbol with my needle. Try and see if I can just break it.
Okay. It's really weird being lifted up by him because whereas most other things sort of like wobble a bit, he's perfectly still.
Mm-hmm.
So you like try to stab into it. Doesn't seem to give.
Is it like repelling?
No, it's just like you stab into it, but it's like you're not dealing, like there's no markings or anything.
All right, I'll put the needle away. What can I do for this?
Still
Will
can't
you-
find shit on this boat?
Will you let me, I know Word of Unmaking, destroys like one tiny magical object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will you let me destroy the wood around it?
Does it say like a size?
It says no larger than 1 foot in any dimension.
You'd probably have to cut the wood off itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Will you let me do that?
You know what? Let's have the dice decide. Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Mev like presses her hands to the wood, and like again those burning fingertips start to light up. 10.
10.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll make a dice roll to see. It's cocked. You feel the wood give a little bit, but unfortunately it doesn't work.
Fuck.
What are you attempting to do?
I'm attempting to dislocate these symbols from the ship.
We have
I can't break the symbols, so I figure break the...
I believe we are in possession of saws.
She looks down at him with like a bit of a level of irritation.
Apologies, I was simply making a suggestion.
I was trying to prevent the whole exhibition, but we'll have to do this. She hops down. If you would, can you take a look around? More simple. I'll get someone on to removing this, along with a couple other crew helping find more of these. She actually jots down the symbols real quick.
I will make sure that they are suitably marked.
Alright. Yeah, Mev's just gonna fucking alert people that there's like some sort of fucking arcane sigil in the ship. There's possibly more of them. Keep an eye out and someone fucking cut out that wood.
Mm-hmm. As you're doing this, you do hear like surface level thoughts of the first mate go. Incoming individual. Designation. Camilla. Captain. Incoming individual. Designation. Iridan. Captain.
Okay. I'll have to head up then.
Owain has allowed boarding of these individuals.
I will head upstairs. I don't think I'll join them unless I'm beckoned. I will just wait at the edge.
Okay. So, you sort of wait and watch as they stand on the deck of the ship. You do hear before you like feel them grab onto your hand, just unknown occupant, species Kanku.
Sure.
And it's just a couple of seconds later, you just sort of look to your left and see name's eluding me.
Chitter.
Chitter standing next to you.
Yeah, Mev looks at her, signs. What are you doing?
Signs back. Just standing here.
Uh-huh.
You sort of see as she's looking at you, like her eyes look over to the first mate and then back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of, she just looks over at the first mate and just like signals a greeting. Just a few seconds before you hear the, reconnection to the Warforge. Kenku has made movements akin to a greeting in signs. Acknowledged. For the most part, you just stay standing there for what feels like hours.
Yeah.
But eventually, you see Owain, you know, there at the top of the deck. You see the three of them sign a document. Owain offers his hand. Von Ren shakes it, whereas Camilla doesn't, and they both leave. Quickly, they begin pulling the ropes off so that the Rising Star can basically leave. And as they begin to sail away, Camilla just leans over to Von Ren and says, "You're going to get Sparks to make sure that he hadn't put anything on your hand there." I know. So it looks at you and Chissa. Well, I feel that we've averted a disaster.
Temporarily.
We have a whole year to plan for this. So it looks over at Von Ren, just like pushing away, just in case. I'm just gonna get this. He just walked off. We have taken part in a interesting little game of cat and mouse now.
She looks at her mother expectantly.
We were on the back foot this time since we had such a short period. Next time, we're going to make sure that if a deal is continued, it's on our terms. And if not, then we can at least cut the deal there and then. I don't want to deal with a Johanian merchant any more than I think anyone in the world does. That said, there is profit to be made now. So it looks down at you again. I'm proud of you, Mev. I know you're very much a very talented fighter. And here you are now proving yourself in a negotiation table.
Thank you, Mama.
So like looks over at the departing ship. So where do you go from here?
Mev looks back at the island. Well, if you'd like, I can start hunting for wherever the fuck he put that thing.
Not immediately. Though I suppose once we're back in Mary Pere and the rest of the captains are aware, then sure.
Are any of the Telaria nearby?
I'd assume Arj. I assume most of them would be actually.
She turns to Havelock, Arjun, and Kinling. And she says, "We've got a bit of time, preparations to make, most of which will be handled by the Crow's Nest. Arjun."
Yes.
I believe that you've still got a couple leads to follow on the Isle of Moa.
And?
She smiles. You'll need people to help you through the island, won't you?
He nods.
I'd like to recommend a pilgrimage of sorts through the Isle. It keeps us close to Mary Libery and allows us to both do what Arjun needs and to build our strength. Just because we bought time doesn't mean we won't have a fight. What do you think? She's asking this to everyone.
To elaborate, you're asking if we should be getting more allies from the Isle of Moa itself, or from among the Moans, as in the new Moans?
She
Referring
smiles.
to the, like, he's basically trying not to say pirate.
She nods. I mean both physically, she gestures to each of them. Physically to hone our own skills and to see who exactly we can get in on this. Whether that be New Moa or the people outside. It may actually be beneficial to us. She looks at Camilla. It may be beneficial to us, Mama, to... Well, we've been isolated to one part of the island for quite some time. Perhaps it's time to establish alliances.
From what we've been told, we've tried many a time. I'm not against another attempt, but keep your expectations low.
She nods.
If anything... His comment about being recognized really bugged me. It's an awful thing to be waving that potential above our head, but what if we proved we didn't need him to be recognized?
What are you proposing?
This is something that's going to take a lot of planning, and I'm not the best for this one. Probably best with our Captain of Misinformation. But what if we were to reach out to other areas? Maybe not. But definitely not Karmora. What about Arizar? Or one of the other continents? The Isle of Tended Earth, even.
That's a lot bigger than what I was expecting.
It's a long-term thing. I don't expect any progress by the time that we are here doing this again, but I'm just saying, if we get the ball rolling.
And who did she want to do this?
It's the Crow's Nest Captain, which you guys haven't met yet. Let me...
The fairy? I think it was a fairy.
It was the Ferry, yes. I've got the name
Yep.
somewhere around here. Which list is it under? Why do I have so many lists? There we go. Captain Tinker of
Yep.
the Variodities.
All right. Yeah, Mem nods slowly, like that. They can certainly get on that, but again, that's something that's a little too big for her, because she's not a fucking crow's nest captain.
You have friends on the mainland, though, yes?
That's right.
What do you think the odds are of them pitching in?
We've got some small friends and some big friends. I suppose the Iron Accord,
Mm-hmm.
that's the Mage Guild, right?
Yes.
Are they actually part of the Republic?
They are considered unaffiliated.
Unaffiliated. She will say we've got some connection with the Iron Accord. They could potentially assist, though I imagine it would be quite a big favor, and a lot would be owed. They are on the hunt for the Spider's Eye.
Well, then we have options. On our side, we can certainly... I suppose as well we could reach out to the Free Pirates. At the very least, we could warn them. If Owain does decide to get Jurhan involved, and they decide to get involved, even if they're not on our side, they would still be a form of defense.
Or we might just alert them that there's a gigantic cash cow for anyone who knows where the fuck Mary LeBerry is.
If Cadwigan was still around, I would agree with you. But even though they don't follow our code, Mary LeBerry is, like us, one of their only sanctuaries. That said, we can always give it to those that we trust.
I think this is something to discuss later.
There is a lot to discuss. Some of it between everyone, others between the Crow's Nest captains. I do agree with Von Ren, though. Horace should definitely be here a year from now.
She nods. I don't think that really changes much for Mev's current plan. Because a lot of this is just stuff that she's going to have to wait for due to bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm. Even with a piracy, there's still a bureaucracy.
So yeah, she looks back at fucking Havelock and Kindling. Well, you didn't answer me.
I think it'd still be worth something to try and get the free pirates in. They're assholes, but stick together.
Well, I meant about traveling the Isle of Moa. I suppose if we run into any, because I'm sure they're skulking about there. Well, she gestures to Havelock. Having the heir to the Ruby's Wrath might pull some weight.
I might have to be disgusting to talk to them. I hope you know that.
Milla actively bristling.
uh, as long as you can listen to me and play your part.
Havelock doesn't say anything to that, but he gives her a very knowing look before glancing over at her mom.
Waiting for kindling. Merv nods. Just very quickly. How ship now?
Of what, sorry?
The Rising Star.
At this point,
How far is it?
It's very far, like, I think, because what's the range of
Over
your...
2 miles?
Yeah.
What's the last thing that I hear from this guy, like, before it disconnects?
It's a lot of planning. A lot of math and, indications. It's like, well, I suppose with that kind of ship, should I? No, it needs to be regular cannons. If it's anything else, then that would make the deal moot. And what kind of goods? I'm sure that I had a trading mission to sell some woodwork over it. And at that point, you're out of range.
Fuck! Can I try and extend my reach for just that last little bit?
Make a wisdom check.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Right. That could have caused me to save. Oh, God.
No, you don't. You don't get the last part of it.
Okay.
All that happens is you try and throw your mind out. Thankfully, because it was a 9, all that happens is you get a little bit lightheaded. You get a bit of vertigo, basically.
Yeah, Mev fucking, like, tries to fling her head out just to stretch it a little more. And, she stumbles a little bit.
Yeah, Camilla sort of, like, grabs you. It's like, easy. You've worked yourself very hard on this one.
I was trying to get a little bit more information.
What did you get at the very least?
There's some sort of other deal that he has going on. He said wood trade. That's what he said, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I was trying to get the location.
that's fine. Wood trade. Well, there's only 3 areas where he might go, and we've essentially been given permission from him to attack his ships.
Mev steadies herself. Okay. For now, we fucking rest.
Rest up. We will make our way back to Mary the Beret. If you have a way to get in contact with your friends on the mainland, do so. We'll take it slow.
We'll work on it.
So like looks over to where Barley is. You, Barley. Oh yeah. Sail us towards where the needle is. Looks like they won't have to wait a full day after all. Aye. So it turns around, it's like... And I hope to gods that Von Ren has actually had his hand checked out. Last thing I want is a bug on it. I see. So, as everyone returns to their respective ships, the engraved bits of wood are cut out and assumingly are thrown overboard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just in case, Havelock needs to check the outside and bottom of the ship.
Okay.
I'm not fucking
I
around.
get to. It's my
Yeah,
part
like this
to
is what you're made
me
for.
into the water.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Me and
See?
the water chief.
What was
Yeah.
that? What did you say?
Anna?
Anna?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Hi.
What happened?
Good talk.
I think her internet's dying. Yep. She's typing. Investigation. I suppose. Since
Wow,
since-
she didn't even have to fucking
Since-
like make something up.
I'm assuming that Mev would have told Havelock and would have shown him the engraving.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, so
everyone
he
got
knows
to
what
see
he's
it.
looking for.
Yeah.
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 14.
14. Could be better, but it's not bad at all.
You do find the barnacles that are on the underside of the ship.
Barnacles are so creepy.
Mm-hmm. But as you sort of like search around, nothing.
Nothing?
Mm-hmm. Though also as well, before the remaining planks of wood are thrown off, Sparks does take one, just
Mhm.
studies it, casts detect magic because she has it. Just sort of like looks at it for a few seconds before just throwing it overboard.
Mm-hmm.
It was a divination spell.
Figured that was something like that.
Sort of like looks over at Barley. Next time they want to come over, call us to force them back. I mean... yeah.
Mev actually speaks up at that. I think Bali did well. If he had called you guys, it would have resulted in an escalation, possibly risking people's lives. Getting a couple bruises and a couple bugs that we have to, dispel or carve out is better than any bloodshed.
She like looks at you. It's like, very well. Though I hope you're more diligent when it happens again, if it happens again. Well, next time I'm hoping that one of your bigger ships are here instead of me.
Miv looks apologetic to Bali.
I agree to this. You don't need to look at me like that.
You agreed to transport us. You didn't agree to get involved in politics.
Would you believe me if I said that I had a faint hope that maybe I could also benefit from this as a merchant?
I think you still can. I mean, very few outsiders get to trade and have the protection of Moens. I'd say aiding us with this definitely assisted you there.
Enough to maybe get a few trade deals with you?
You'll have to speak with the Crow's Nest. But I feel that this has definitely sweetened them to you.
Great. If that's the case, then suppose I'll come back with you lot. You guys are paying for the hole.
To.
You guys are paying for the holes in my deck.
We expected to. I expected to. Yes.
All right. Can't guarantee if you're staying around that I'll be here to take you back to the mainland whenever you decide to, but
I don't expect you to stay in Moa. I expect you to go about your business. All I would ask is if you do return to Port Honor, I'd like to leave a letter with you to give to someone.
I was planning to head straight to Embar, but I can always detour to Port Honor.
I would appreciate that. And you'll need to anyways in order to get paid.
True. Normally I let it sit there, but so I looks over at where there's a hole in the deck. Might want that money a bit earlier.
We can discuss details later.
There we can. For now, we gotta get back to Moa.
God, I hope that we don't fucking traverse through the ocean and there's a fucking, like, myrmidon.
Who knows? I guess we'll have to find out in the next session.
Fucking hell.
Because that's what we're gonna call it.
Oh my god.